My dear, you only broke my heart. I had to explain your absence to my soul. I defended your silence so loudly, I forgot the sound of my own truth. I covered for you when they asked why my smile died. You disappeared, and I had to survive your memory like a war. I wore your blame like perfume, sweet to others, toxic to me. I didn't just lose you, I lost who I was before you. They saw me smile. They didn't see me beg God for peace. You left me with ghosts I had to name in the dark. You were forgiven long before you ever apologized. I healed from you silently while you lived loudly without me. You broke me, then made me explain why I was fragile. I was accused of loving too deeply. They never met you. I carried your shadow like a secret I couldn't shake off. You walked away. I stayed to clean the emotional wreckage. I defended you while you were destroying me. I had to unlearn love just to survive you. You gave me your storm, then called me too cold. You abandoned me in public, but haunted me in private. I buried pieces of myself just to keep you whole. I lied to the mirror for months, just to protect your name. I bled in places you never even visited. You hurt me. I made it poetic. That's how I coped. You became a lesson I never asked to learn. I kept your love alive in rooms filled with doubt. You left, and I had to explain my collapse in whispers. You gave me scars I had to turn into scripture. My silence was the battlefield where I buried your cruelty. I smiled through wounds you never stayed long enough to see. You turned me into a ghost of the woman you praised. I blamed myself so you could stay holy in my memory. You moved on. I was still bleeding in slow motion. I became fluent in pretending I was okay after you. You watched me drown in emotions you never bothered to name. You left me without closure. I built peace with fragments. I took the blame so you could stay everyone's favorite story. You turned my devotion into my downfall. I whispered prayers into pillows soaked with your indifference. I learned to smile with a broken heart you never claimed. You made me doubt my own worth gently. I fought my demons while you became one of them. I faced storms just to meet you in your calm. You taught me how love can feel like betrayal wrapped in beauty. I screamed your name in silence and called it healing. I loved you so much, I vanished inside your chaos. I had to burn my softness to stop missing you. You gave me hope, then punished me for believing. You left wounds that became poetry, and people called it art. You haunted my mornings with things you said at midnight. I had to rise from ashes I didn't start. I became numb so your memory wouldn't destroy me. I protected your image while you shattered mine. I forgave you in silence because screaming never brought peace. I prayed for you even after you cursed me with distance. I gave you warmth. You used it to burn me. I had to choose healing over loving you again. You watched me lose myself, and you called it freedom. I broke alone so you could stay admired. I made excuses for your cruelty with trembling lips. I loved you loud. You left me quiet. You made me forget what being safe felt like. I held on to the version of you that never existed. You created chaos and called it passion. I had to resurrect the girl you buried with your silence. You weren't just a heartbreak, you were a transformation. I kept loving you even when it meant losing me. I stayed silent about your damage to protect your image. You made my loyalty feel like self-betrayal. I whispered your name to stars that never replied. I romanticized pain because you wore it like perfume. I had to rebuild myself with pieces you left behind. You kissed me with lies I tried to make true. I still flinch when I hear promises that sound like yours. You taught me how to love dangerously. I kept showing up for someone who left long ago. I wanted forever. You wanted a distraction. You broke my heart gently, like it was a favor. I survived the version of love that almost killed me. I became the villain just to make you the hero. You turned my trust into your playground. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. I fought for us. You were already gone. I loved the potential in you, not the reality. You gave me silence when I needed presence. I carried your pain like it was mine. You gave me hope, then punished me for trusting. I didn't lose you. I lost the illusion. You made me question every part of me that loved you. You shattered me with the love I begged you to return. I'm still healing from the lies I believed. I begged the universe to erase your memory gently. You watched me bleed and called it independence. I buried my dreams beneath your expectations. You left fingerprints on wounds you never tried to heal. I saw forever. You saw convenience.